today we're talking about aging. We're getting older. We're not in our 20s anymore. We're not old. We're not old, but we're
I am
older.
so old.
Well, aging. Can we age less? I don't know. We're going to talk about getting old. How old are you, Alexis? Okay, I am 34 and a half. I'll be
That's
35.
a really rude question, and fuck you for that. I'm actually 37 years old.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Evelina and I were talking about this the other day, and it's like, I don't feel like I'm 37. Like saying to myself, you're 37 years old. And I'm like, I sure as shit don't feel like I'm 37. I don't act like I'm 37.
What is that though?
But seriously, age is literally nothing but a number. Like to me, it's just, I don't feel 37. Like I feel like I'm still in my 20s. I, am going around and playing Pokemon Go and Harry Potter. It doesn't feel like I've been,
we're not adulting like the other adults are adulting.
No. Tati Westbrook and I are the same age, and you see Tati, and she's like all prim and proper and very elegant and mature and well spoken, and then you've got me, and I'm like, fuck.
I'm not ready for this. But that is interesting, like how we kind of age differently, because I really want, She Bear, that She Bear is a tarot reader here on YouTube, and I don't know her age, but she is very she's very like, the thing is, she swears like a sailor, like she's up there with Alexis, but she does it in a way that she sounds so freaking eloquent. Well,
like when she says shit, he says shit, one, you're not expecting it to come out of her mouth.
Yeah, no.
But two, you're like, oh, it really like packs a punch. Like that's what swearing is supposed to do. But for me, it's literally just words.
But she's like, whenever she's like, fuck that shit. Like when we say it, it's like, fuck that shit. Ooh. Yeah. But
fuck that shit.
Yeah. She says it like, oh, fuck that shit. And it's like, oh my God, you're so eloquent.
I'm kind of having a hard time, thinking about this. Like I'm 3 years away from 40. I'm 3.5 years away from 40 years old. And that to me is just, I never, ever, ever pictured myself being where I am today. I would have never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would be married and this happy and living in a beautiful country and having an amazing family and having such supportive and wonderful friends all over the world. It's crazy.
Speaking of talking about Angelo, like I think I mentioned this with him, that you're getting old when you wake up in the morning and you hear yourself go trying to get out of the bed. It's interesting. My husband, he's 10 years older than me, so like I'm 34, he's 44. Sorry, honey, I just exposed you. And it's funny, like looking at him waking up, because like 10 years ago when we met, he was like jumping out of bed, no issues, and now he's like tired dad, old man almost, and when he wakes up, he kind of, and then he's like very stiff, so he kind of walks like a penguin.
Yes.
And I do it too. It's not just my husband. We both like our penguin walks before our bodies loosen up. Like struggling to go to the bathroom. Yeah, it's very visible. Like when you're getting closer to 35, it's like, oh, bam, you're getting old.
And it hits you. It's not even something that you notice gradually happening over time. It's just something that's like, bam, it hits you, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, like who has been pulling every muscle in my back and standing on my bones? Like, I have a comfortable bed. I have a really comfortable bed. How the hell does it feel like I slept on rocks all night?
The kids aged us so freaking much. Like we went from strapping young ones to get old, like 15 years older in 5 years. Also aging, like you know this part of your body.
Yes, the granny flaps.
Yeah, it's getting softer and softer, and it's very nice to touch. I don't like the appearance of it, but it's like it's so soft.
I can just see you like in bed, just stroking the soft skin, lulling yourself to sleep.
But don't you remember? Like it's funny because my 6-year-old, she gravitates towards of my body that I don't like the very very loose and flabby and soft parts because they're soft to touch. So she just it usually cuddles and she goes like. But I remember those parts when I was younger and with my mom. I was exactly the same way. Like I gravitated towards like these parts that were softer, and like when this on the arms, like when that skin gets looser.
Yeah.
But it is very very prevalent that my arms, the skin on my arms is getting older. And I'm gonna read a girl. My belly never snaps back, and when my kids were little, they used to wake me up by wobbling my belly, then saying, "Give us a bit of that old jelly belly." Kids really ground you. Kids can kids' honesty is like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
but
having kids is like really humbling because they just don't have a filter.
Yeah, no, it's like. But it's also interesting. Like if I were to view myself through my kids' eyes, I would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Because they look at me like I'm the most pretty person they have ever seen. They don't care about like, oh, I'm fat, and for me that would be or I feel ugly. No, they look at me like mom, my mom. But yeah, if we were to view ourselves through our kids' eyes, I think we would be a lot nicer to ourselves. I think like the difference between like being an adult and being a child is that as adults we have been programmed into putting negativity into stuff that kids don't. So when they tell, like when my kids tells me your stomach is so big, it's not a negative thing, it's just fact. Like I'm big, my stomach is big, but she just tells me what she sees, and for her it's just like the way I look and nothing negative. As adults, we're the ones who bring the negativity into that because we have learned that being plus size is negative, or having wrinkles is negative, or having gray hair is negative. Like we are the ones putting the negativity into these descriptions, when it's just a description. Like I am a fat 34-year-old woman. That is just like me describing what I am. If it's not me putting any negativity in it until I do, until I choose to do it.
I agree. We're our worst critics, and it's really hard to see when you look at yourself and you've, grown up with loathing, fat people, well, not loathing fat people, but, dreading getting older and gaining weight and stuff like that. It's just, trying to be a bit nicer to yourself, really.
Yeah. But I kind of feel like it's funny, it's weird, it's like scary to think that for a lot of people the worst thing that can happen is them getting old and fat. When that is, it's just looks. Like when did our outer appearance become so important that is the most important and scary thing that we focus on? When there's so much more important things we could place above that. Like I'm like, I like because I like makeup. I like the physical part. I like fashion. It's very like surface level. I like the surface level things, but I feel like when we value it so much that we decide that we let it like rule our self-worth, and like it becoming so important that when we get like wrinkles, we feel like we become less as people, or we gain 10 kilos. It means that our worth as people get less, when it has nothing to do with those kinds of things, but we allow it to become so important that outer appearance dictate how we view our value as people. What would we talk about next time? We don't know, because we're bad at planning.
We are terrible at planning, but you know, we show up, so hey, there's that.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next weekend.
Bye, guys. Thank you.